our children also are, in order to, besides putting most of our vegetables in the cellar, there were certain vegetables that had to be dried out, like peas and corn and beans, and also our meat. Once the meat had been dried, then they had to be preserved too, so that they wouldn't get moldy in that. And what I did was I would put them in bags, similar to what I have, just as a example. I'd put them in bags and tie them on the wall, and that would be in the cabin. Yeah. Once the cabin was built, everything in the tent would go into the cabin, and the tenting would be put away until the next time we moved to a new hunting area. I also had to educate my children, and I'll be right back. Whoops. I wanted to educate my children, and back in those days, books were very expensive. And most people, if they could afford a book, they got one book. Any idea what that book might have been? The Bible. You're right. I do have my Bible. This one happens to be a gift to me from my grandfather, who also happens to be one of my sponsors. You open up the book, there's all these words. They're made up of the letters of the alphabet, and that's how they learn their alphabet.
Mm.
That's how they learned that the alphabet letters were put together to make words. And the words are put together to make sentences, and they learned how to write and to read that way. The Bible isn't the only thing, besides your religious instructions and learning the alphabet, that's not the only thing that they learned. While reading different things in the Bible, we heard about places where people lived. Did they live in an area where there were mountains, or where there was maybe a nice place to raise cattle? Maybe they were living near an ocean or a river, places like that. When you learn where you lived, that's called social study or geography.